In December 2019, Labour suffered its biggest defeat in all of our lifetimes, losing all 6 of the seats that we gained in Scotland in 2017. I know all too well the impact of that loss. But my work isn't done, and now I'm ready, just like we all must be, to get back in the fight and win.
20 years ago, at the opening of the Scottish Parliament, Donald Juror said that devolution was not an end in itself, but merely a means to greater ends. But today, after a decade of brutal cuts, we have over 30,000 children living in poverty across this city. That's a shameful indictment on a decade of SNP and Tory cuts across this city and across Scotland. It falls to Labour and a new generation of Labour representatives to fulfil that promise that Donald Juror made to the people of Glasgow and to the people of Scotland.
As the Member of Parliament for Glasgow North East and as Shadow Minister, I didn't just fight for my constituents, I spoke up for all Glaswegians being hurt by the impact of the SNP's deliberately disproportionate cuts to our local councils, whilst taking on the Tories at Westminster. From the Clyde to the Commons, I stepped up for this city and for our party between 2017 and 2019. I passionately led local and national campaigns and demanded better for each and every one of us by challenging the attacks on the working class. I championed Labour policies, fought to protect jobs, vulnerable people and defended Glasgow's proud industries. Growing up, I was told that Glasgow was miles better. It's time for us to rediscover that belief in ourselves. It is time to prove that Glasgow really is miles better by coming together as one, to fight to end the cuts to our vital council services, force the Scottish Government to deliver the Green New Deal that will revitalise our industries, and by using the powers of the Scottish Parliament to give every child growing up in Glasgow the opportunity to achieve their true potential.
He now faces being deported to Georgia, his late mother's country of birth, becoming another statistic that suffers at the hands of this Prime Minister.
A boy who faced deportation from Glasgow to Georgia after being orphaned has been granted asylum by the Home Office.
All of this and more is possible, and I want to help achieve it. That is why I'm standing as a Labour MSP for the Glasgow region, and I'm asking for your support and your first preference to do that. The time is upon us like never before to fight with everything we have to deliver Labour victories across Glasgow and across Scotland as a whole. We know that so many people are dependent on a Labour victory and Labour policies to be delivered in the Scottish Parliament. Indeed, for some people, their lives literally depend on it. That is why we must fight with everything we have and do what we can to maximise Labour gains and Labour victories across Scotland. There isn't a moment to lose.